Hi friends and fellow stampers. You're having lunch with Laura. I am Laura Lee Collet from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and I have been a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator since 2004. So I want to welcome you today and be sure to like and share my videos if you would, and any post I might have out there. I would appreciate it. And before we get to the precious card I'm going to show you today, I am so excited. Look what came in. I got multiple boxes yesterday of the new catalog. Now, this is all legally I can show you at this moment, but if you have ordered from me in the last 6 months, I will be getting a catalog to you either in person or by mail. If you want to request a catalog, you can go to my newsletter, and there is a button at the bottom, and it says request a catalog. I'm charging $5 for the catalogs, but that's due to the increase in postage. Thank you very much, Post Office. And the catalogs are free. So you can either contact me or you can go to my newsletter, click on the button, and pay through PayPal. So let's get to it. I am so anxious to show you some things in the catalog, but I can't do it at the moment. So I'm going to put that aside, and we're going to talk about a set that is being carried over this year called Taco Fiesta. This set was in the mini catalog, and you will still be able to order this in the new annual catalog. And I made this adorable little Holy Guacamole, it's your birthday card. Now, let me show you one quick tip. I have a little smudge right there, and I don't know how it got there, but I don't like it showing. And I didn't want to have to redo all the stamping and everything. So let me show you a quick fix. As I've been told, a mistake is only an excuse for an embellishment, or, in this case, a glue dot. So I've got a glue dot, let go, right there, and I'm just going to turn my ribbon and place it right there. Now, no little smudge. So that's just a tip that you can use. Now, before I get into this, I want to talk to you just a second about the stamp set itself. This is adorable and I absolutely love it, but it has some teeny tiny pieces. I try to remember to use this is just a clear lucite frame picture holder that came from Hobby Lobby, and as I use the stamps, if I'm not wanting to clean them and put them up right away, stick them on something that you'll know where they are when you go to find it. You see this little bitty pepper right here? Yesterday I got it out and I kind of placed it where I wanted it to go on my paper, and I went to get this and stick everything on. I could not find this. I probably looked 15 or 20 minutes for that one little tiny piece, and it was on a drawer that had been pulled out right on the edge. Well, I thought it was gone for good, but luckily I found it. So just take heed and watch that. The same thing is true when you are using dyes. We've got a lot of little dyes, but I lost a big one and I still haven't found it. So I don't know how that happened. But anyway, the little ones, this is just a little magnetic sheet that I glued to one of the Lucite photo holders. And it will, I don't have a dye up here right at, oh yes I do. I've got one that we're going to use. Hello. Okay. This you can put right there. And no more lost dyes. Okay. Now, along with our new catalog, as I said, this stamp set is going into the annual catalog, so you can still order it. The dies I'm using today, which are one of my favorites, called Stitched Rectangles. These have been discontinued. So when I checked this week, they were still on the 60% off thing that you can find at stampingatthebirdnest.com. Go to shop, and you'll see a list where you can look at everything that is retiring or and it's last chance to get it. When we have some woohoo moments like new colors and stuff, we have boohoo moments with some of our stamp sets that are our faves and the dies. Now, I went ahead and did a little bit of pre-cutting here so that this would go a little bit faster. And I'm going to show you how I did this. Let me see, I need to get this out of the way. Okay, now, let's put this to the side a second. The base of the card is one of the end colors called Parakeet Party. It's kind of a lime green, and I've cut it at 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2, and I'm going to burnish the little fold right there so that it'll lay nice and flat. Then I used the DSP from the 2022 to 24 in colors. So these are still good for this year, although the paper has been discontinued. But I picked what I think of as colors you see at Mexican restaurants. They're bright, it's like a party every day when you walk into the Mexican restaurants. Lots of reds, turquoise, yellows, and greens, and I'm sure there are other colors out there too, but I picked out 2 sheets from the DSP, and I didn't even cut them because they will only fit in the large cut and emboss machine. And then I did the second color this way, and then the last one I'm going to show you what I did, and I need to grab one thing that I forgot to grab. Okay. A piece of black cardstock. I decided that I'm going to do this card slightly different. The one we're making here, slightly different. And I'm going to back the Daffodil Delight on the, with a little piece of black. So, and I'm going to show you how to cut those out in just a second. Like I said, I went ahead and cut these so you can see. This is actually sweet sorbet, and if you look at it next to red, it's very close, and I really love this color. And I'm going to stick my die right there, and let me show you what I did. Counting from the outside, I picked the largest die, then I skipped one, went to the next one, skipped one, and went to the next 2. And I think that's what I did. Okay, so then I cut out one that's that's called Tahitian Tide. And I didn't get that quite straight. That's okay. And I'm going to put this back. And next, I'm going to, let's see. That one's there, so I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use this one. I'm going to use the one that I used here, I'm going to cut with black in black. And I'm going to do that right quick. And then I want to remind you of the tip that the main office came out with. Okay, so this one is there, and that's what I'm going to use to mount the Daffodil Delight on. Put my die away. Now, let me show you one thing, and I've showed this before, but it has really helped with the cutting and embossing machines, both the large and especially the mini. When you have your 3 plates for the mini, you have plate 1 and then 2 number 2 plates. When you go to put your cardstock and die in, you're going to offset the one that's holding the die. So it's sticking out on this end and it's indented here. Oops, here. And here is the top plate and it's even with the bottom. That helps the little gripper on your cut and emboss machine to grab it easier. It's easier for it to grab 2 of the plates rather than all 3. Okay, there we go. So that's just that little tip to remember that'll help you there. Okay, now this is just slightly smaller, but that's what we're going to do our stamping on. Now, don't kill the messenger. The Stamparatus, which I'm going to use today, has been permanently retired. And that is a boo-hoo moment for us demonstrators. So, I guess you just have to roll with the punches. All right, I am doing this just because they're little, and I thought that on camera it would help. And the first thing I'm going to do is to put down where I want my holy guacamole. And I'm going to put it right at the top and as close to the center as I can get it. Fold that over. Oops. Then I'm going to take my black tuxedo ink pad. This is my favorite black, by the way. And I'm going to ink up the stamp. And it's perfect. Now I'm going to put this back on my little frame holder. All right, the next thing that was most important in the card was your guacamole and chips. So I'm going to stamp those next. And I'm going to do the same thing. Now remember, you're going to have a little piece of ribbon here. Okay? So it may cover that up just a little bit. Oops. You need to have those down so it'll hold. Okay. there's your holy guacamole. Next, I'm going to do the chips. And I guess I'm just going to kind of put those to the side. The beauty of the photopolymer stamps is that you can see through them. So if you don't have a stamp apparatus, you can see through where you want to place it. And next, we had to have the avocado. You cannot have guacamole without the avocado. So I'm going to put that little guy right there. And Ziggy, my little Frenchie, is a fierce bug and lizard hunter, and she's whining to go outside. So hope y'all aren't hearing that. Okay, there's my avocado. And I mean, what's a fiesta without a Mexican hat? And by the way, Mexican food I think is probably my favorite besides steak. Okay, and I'm going to put this right there. Oops. Okay, and okay, we need our little lime because, you know, you can't have guacamole and Mexican food, tacos and etc. without lime. So that's going to go over here. And then I'm going to do my little peppers. Now they're going to be stamped. No, I'm not. I am going to use this. Okay. I'm going to stamp them along the edge. Now, if I'd gotten my stamping spot out, it would have been easier than using my big pad on these little stamps. So we're going to put one there. Then I'm going to clean it off so that I can place it where I want it to place. And I'm just going to use my fingers. And, okay. Instead of putting it on a block. Okay, now I can put it, the next one here. Oops, let go. And then the final one will go right underneath it. I find that with these little tiny stamps, when you put them on your block, no matter if you're using the best size for this, which would be our little tiny block, that you really have to remember to go straight down and apply pressure. You don't want to rock, but you want to make sure of the whole thing, because sometimes it's a little bit harder to get the full stamped image using the little tiny ones. Okay, now, isn't that cute? I just love this set. We hadn't had a good Mexican set in a while. Okay, now I am going to color these in with blends. when you're stamping on white, you can pretty much, know what colors you're going to use and have them come out the way you want. When you're stamping on a color, it took me a little bit of, trial and error to figure out what I wanted to do. Now, I did not have the sweet sorbet color, so I'm using the dark red and the, let's see, I'm going to use the small end to do my little peppers. And I'm not blending, I am only coloring in today. And you can just go slow and be careful and they'll come out great. Okay, I'm going to use the light granny apple green to do the little stems, and again I'm using the little small end, and it doesn't take much to do these. I'm going to use the dark granny apple green for the guacamole, and I'm just going to kind of use circles to I'm going to go ahead and color over that chip so that it looks like the chip is poking out of the guacamole. Yeah, that looks pretty good. All right, now I'm going to use the dark guacamole for the avocado. I think you call it the meat of the avocado. I'm going to go around this. And I eat enough avocados and make enough guacamole to know what they look like. I'm going to use the dark green, granny apple green for the rind of the lime, and the inside I'm going to use the lighter one. Now see, so far the colors have come out great with that. I'm going to use the dark crumb cake to go around the peel of the avocado. Ziggy, honey. And the seed. Now, of course, with stamping, you can make things whatever color you want. If you want a purple avocado, go for it. Let's see. I also used the, oh, come on. Didn't want that end. The small end of the crumb cake for the crown of the hat. Then I used pumpkin pie. You gotta have some orange in there, I guess. And I put it right at the bottom of this little zigzag, just to give a little pop of a different color. And I used the light green, keep pulling off the wrong end, for the top. Okay, now everything is done except for the bowl. And I struggled with, I wanted it to look more teal, or turquoise, and we didn't have a turquoise blend. So I am using Pool Party, the dark one there, and I'm just gonna, and see how it kind of turns green. It didn't really, come out as a blue bowl, but that's okay. I'll do the little feet, although they're not going to be seen. And then just to kind of set it off a little bit, I put some pumpkin pie stripes. You know how the pottery is all fancied up. Now, okay, that's finished. Now let's put our card together. First thing I'm going to do is mount this on top of here. So see, that just gives it a little more oomph with the black ribbon that I'm using, the black and white. So let's get some of our seal, and I'm gonna put this down on top of here. And I'm going to set that aside. Now here is our card front. And I'm going to do it like this one, except I'm going to let just a little bit more green show. Okay? So I'm going to do it right about there. And I'm putting it on, I'm reversing the order of these. I don't know, I always seem to find some improvements or something after I've done my sample for y'all. Okay, then this one will go here. And like I said, I'm just showing a little bit of the green. You could have even gone a little bit smaller if you wanted to on that first layer. Okay. And I mean, it's like barely 1/8 of an inch that's showing. Okay, now it's time to put this on, but remember to do your ribbon first. And I did not measure the ribbon. Oh, and I wanted to talk to you too about, and I'm going to move this for a little bit just to show you. Oops, I need to go to the top. And I'm not sure how well you can see this. But on our grid paper, now this was a special when the demonstrators were given, but on our black and white grid paper, there is a ruler. It's done in centimeters and in inches, and this one goes across the top and down the bottom. Y'all, these are not just for decoration. They're there to be used. So I'm going to measure out, I think that I can get by with about 15 inches. So that's 14 and one more inch. And if not, I will just cut another piece and use this somewhere else. Now I'm going to want my, let me point you back down this way. Oh, and you can also see my host code, my email address, and my website, stampingatthebirdnest.com. And now you can email me at laura@stampingatthebirdnest.com. Okay, back to what we're doing. Now, I had a lot of practice in kindergarten tying shoes, so I do real well with bows. In fact, some of my customers coerce me into doing theirs for them, which is totally not fair. They should have learned how to do that as a child. But anyway, I'm going to, let's see, and I'm going to scoot it down to the very bottom so that you're seeing as much as possible. There you go. Oh, and you do see the little feet on the guacamole bowl. I'm going to trim that little piece off. Oops. Come on. Oop. Well, think I've got glue on my scissors. Did you know you can clean the glue off with on your scissors with alcohol swabs? I go to the drugstore or the pharmacy section, and I get these little alcohol swabs. They come in a box of about, I don't know, 50 or 100, and they really come in handy. I also use them for cleaning up my ink pads, all of the smudges that you get on there. So I always keep these close by. But they're great at cleaning the glue off of your scissors. So that's a good reason to have those. Next, I'm going to use my dimensionals. And I think I have, yes. Okay, I've got just an edge here that I'm using because I don't want to waste anything. And I'm going to put one little piece on each corner. And then I'm going to stick it where I want it on the card. And I think that I might stick this. Okay, let's see, we did it that way, but I don't want it to be all on the blue, the turquoise. So I am going to angle it up here. Okay, and there you have it. Now, let's see. There are some other cute sayings in here. You spice up my life, which we all know Mexican food is spicy. Your nacho average friend. I think that's cute. Spectacular, taco-ler. Long time no taco. And then you have the large pepper, the hard tacos, the burritos. And you have this cute little guy here. And I'm going to stamp him on the inside. If you have a party, you have to have a piñata. And I am just going to stamp him in black on the inside. And the reason I chose to do this today is because I am going this weekend to New Orleans to a friend of mine that is having a tamale party. I have made tamales before, and it's quite, it goes in depth with how to do things. So this ought to be, I think there are going to be about 30 people there, everybody making their own tamales, so that ought to be fun. So I know Sharon's going to have lots of decorations, and I am going to test this. Okay. So I am going to put the little piñata right down here in the corner, and we may have to color him too. He's just too cute. Let's see. Let's make him orange. And then we'll color up some of the special parts of him. So I'm going to go around here with my pumpkin pie. I kind of do the around things and the edges, oops, before I do the middle. And then you can go faster in the middle. All right. Guess I'll go ahead and give him a brown tail. And I had this yellow marker, so I'm going to use it. Okay. And let's see what the blue does on this green. It kind of shows up a little bit better. All right, and then we're going to decorate his little design there. I don't know if that's supposed to be I guess it's like a little blanket. Let's do red. You can really go for any colors you want. And I'll do that blue again. Now, let's see. I think I'll even use a couple of pieces here. What do you think? I think that might be cute, and then put the little red piece. All right, let me see if I can get my cutter out. I'll do this right quick. Can use these scraps up. All right, I'm gonna go right there to the 1. And I'm going to cut it at 4 1/4, since that's the width of the card. And then this one, I think I'm going to cut it a little bit wider. I'm going to go the same distance, and I'll just, I did it at a 1/2 inch. And then at 4 1/4. Oops. Okay. And I am just going to use my, keep calling it snail, my seal to go over this. And lay it down. I still like the polka dots. This side has plaid, which would be fine too. And I'm gonna lay a little green there. And put this right here. Okay. And now, your Mexican Holy Guacamole card is finished. Isn't that adorable? I just love this set. It's so cute. So I've got 2 versions using the same things, and I think they came out adorable. I hope you like them as much as I do. I am going to say goodbye now. Don't forget, if you place an order, to please use the host code. You can find it at stampingatthebirdnest.com. It's down on the right side, and just scroll down a little bit and you'll see that, and you put it at checkout and click apply, and it'll go towards my host code and your order. Also, don't forget, if you want a catalog, contact me, or if you get my newsletter, I have the button down there to request it, and you can fill out all the details and pay with PayPal. The catalog is free, and you're only being charged for the ever-increasing shipping cost. So, all right, next week I'll tell you about the tamale party and everything that went on in New Orleans, and y'all have a great weekend. Thanks for joining me. Please remember to like and share my videos and my posts. I will see you next week, 12 noon on Thursdays, and that's Central Standard Time. And sometimes you can catch a replay, but you know how Facebook is. Sometimes you go looking for something that you've seen and can't find it. So anyway, all right, take care. Subscribe and you will get it in your box. I love you. Come back and see me. Mwah. Bye.